I'm going to give you emotional turn-ons for men that hit fast, sink deep, and linger long after the night is over. Because a lot of people still think the only way to fire up a man is by being sexual, flashing your body, teasing with your words, or giving him the kind of spark that burns hot and then disappears before sunrise. Sure, that can work for a moment. It can grab his attention. It can light up his body, but it does not always grip his heart, and if it does not touch his heart, it usually does not stay. What creates real pull? The kind that makes him replay your words in his mind, the kind that makes your presence haunt his quiet moments, the kind that makes him respect you, admire you, crave your energy, and see you as more than a passing thrill is emotional attraction. That is the kind of attraction that turns a short spark into a deep flame. It is the kind that can make him feel your absence, not just enjoy your company. It is the kind that makes your name stay in his mouth and your memory stay under his skin. A lot of women are told to be more seductive, more available, more playful, more flattering, more eager to impress. But the truth is, emotional attraction is often less about adding tricks and more about removing weak habits. It is less about performance and more about presence. It is less about chasing and more about standing still in your own power. Emotional attraction is delicate. It can bloom quickly, but it can also collapse in seconds if the energy turns needy, loud, desperate, fake, or hungry for approval. So if you want a man to feel that sharp emotional rush when he thinks about you, if you want him to feel pulled toward you in a way that feels deep, intense, and almost unfair, then you need to understand what truly creates that effect. The first thing that can turn a man on emotionally is when you know how to put him in his place without turning into chaos. There is a loud way to do it, and then there is a deadly calm way to do it. The loud way is the one most people already know. It is full of raised voices, heavy speeches, dramatic lines, threats, and emotional fireworks. It sounds like, if you want me, then you better act right, and if you do not, I am gone. It comes with heat, noise, and a desperate need to be heard. Some people call that strength, but most of the time it is just fear wearing makeup. It is insecurity in high heels. It is panic pretending to be power. When someone is yelling, shaking, forcing, and trying to push a point across with volume, they usually reveal that they do not feel safe inside themselves. That energy is exhausting, and for most men, it is not attractive at all. It does not stir deep respect. It does not create warm obsession. It often makes a man shut down, tune out, or quietly pull away. Now compare that to the calm version. The calm version sounds more like this. I like you and I still see the good in you, but what you did does not sit right with me. You are free to be who you want to be, but I'm also free to decide what fits into my life. No screaming, no threats, no wild performance, just clear truth spoken with cool control. That kind of energy lands differently. If he cares about you at all, he will feel it in his chest. He will hear what you mean even if you say very little. In fact, saying less often hits harder. Why? Because calm boundaries feel real. They feel solid. They feel expensive. They show that you are not trying to force a result. You are simply honoring yourself. And when a woman can do that without making a circus out of it, many men feel a sharp jolt of emotional attraction. That kind of strength is magnetic because it is rare. Getting loud is easy. Losing control is easy. Anybody can make a scene. But staying composed when something matters, staying clear when your feelings are involved, staying grounded when you could have exploded, that takes real inner muscle. A man feels that. He may not even have the perfect words for it, but part of him starts thinking, wait, this woman is not weak, not needy, not easily shaken, and not begging me to act right. She expects good behavior, but she is not chasing it. She is not hanging her worth on my choices. That creates challenge, and challenge can be wildly attractive. He starts wondering if he could lose your softness, your warmth, your trust, your attention. He feels the distance before you even take a step back. That is powerful. And no, this is not about playing cold games. It is not about punishing him or acting like you do not care. It is about caring without collapsing. It is about having standards without turning them into a speech. It is about letting him feel the weight of his actions without dragging him through a storm to make your point. When a man feels that you can walk away from what disrespects you, not because you are bitter, but because you are steady, he often shows you his best side. Not always, of course. Some men will still fail. Some men will still choose laziness, ego, or foolishness. But the men who are genuinely into you tend to wake up fast when they feel your calm distance. The second thing that creates instant emotional attraction is refusing to place him above you. Do not hand him a throne he did not earn. Do not turn him into the prize while you audition for approval. And please, do not start proving yourself like a salesperson trying to close a shaky deal. This is where many women kill attraction without realizing it. A man says he likes a certain color, and suddenly the next date is built around making him happy. He says he loves women in black, and now you wear black mainly because you want him to see that you listened. Then he compliments you, and instead of simply saying thank you and enjoying the moment, you reveal the whole effort by saying, I wore this for you because you said you like black. That sounds sweet on the surface, but early on, it can quietly lower your value in his eyes. Why? Because it tells him your energy is already bending around his preferences before he has earned that level of devotion. There is a time for thoughtful effort in love. There is a time for sweet gestures, special details, private sacrifices, and all the soft things that come with deep commitment. But when it is too early, those gestures can smell like hunger instead of warmth. They can feel less like intimacy and more like an application for acceptance. The same thing happens when a woman begins explaining herself without being asked. Maybe she worries that her car looks old, her apartment looks plain, her clothes are not fancy enough, her job is not impressive enough, or her life is not polished enough, so she rushes to give context. She starts defending details nobody even attacked. She starts cleaning up imaginary judgments before he ever made them, and in doing that, she quietly says, I am afraid of what you think, and I need you to see me in the right light. That energy can melt attraction, not because a man is cruel, but because emotional pull depends on value, and value drops when you act like you need to be approved before you can relax. If you treat him like he is above you, he will often feel above you. If you act as if he is the chooser and you are the one hoping to be selected, the whole emotional balance tilts. Attraction likes tension. It likes curiosity. It likes mutual discovery. It does not thrive when one person is already kneeling inside. So stop over-explaining. Stop offering reasons no one requested. Stop polishing yourself like a product on a shelf. You are not a dusty item begging to be bought. You are a person, alive, layered, real, and worthy of being known slowly. Let him wonder. Let him ask. Let him discover. Let him meet you instead of receiving a full sales pitch by dessert. When he feels that you are not trying to hook him with effort, he gets the rare chance to experience your presence without performance, and that can be incredibly attractive. Think about how different the energy feels when a woman says, this is what I like, this is what I do, this is how I live. And if you fit into it, great, compared with a woman who keeps scanning his face for approval after every sentence. One energy is lush, rich, and grounded. The other is shaky. One says, I have a life. The other whispers, please choose me. Men can feel that difference even when it is never spoken out loud. They may not analyze it with perfect language, but they feel which woman seems full and which woman seems empty. They feel which woman is inviting them into her world and which woman is throwing herself at their feet. And the woman who stays rooted in her own world often creates the stronger emotional draw. The third thing that creates deep emotional attraction is authenticity, raw and unforced. Now let's be honest. In normal life, we all adjust. We use tact, we use timing, we choose our words depending on the moment. If a hotel makes a mistake with my booking, I might become extra charming, extra polished, extra strategic to get a better room. That is life, that is smart. But romance is different. When you start shaping your personality just to be liked, you do not create love. You create confusion. You attract people who are responding to your mask, not your soul, and that becomes a disaster later. Because the very things you hid, softened, edited, or covered up in the beginning will eventually come out. Your humor will come out. Your awkwardness will come out. Your strong opinions will come out. Your softness, weirdness, intensity, values, habits, dreams, pain, and truth will come out. So if you build the connection on a polished act, sooner or later the act cracks and both people feel tricked. That is why trying to persuade someone into liking you is such a weak move. It may win attention, but it does not create the kind of connection that can breathe. It does not create the kind of desire that feels rich, emotional, and real. Men who want something deep often respond hard to honesty. Not brutal honesty used like a weapon, but natural honesty, the kind that says, "This is me." It says, "I am not here to trap you, impress you into submission, or mold myself into your fantasy. I am here as I am. If that speaks to you, come closer. If it does not, keep walking. That energy is bold." It is clean, it has edge, and yes, it can be sexy as hell, because it gives a man the chance to feel he is meeting a real woman, not a carefully managed character. Some men will see the real you and realize you are not for them. Good. Let them go. That is not rejection in the tragic sense. That is sorting. That is clarity doing its job. The wrong man leaving is not a loss. It is space being cleared for the right man. And the right man often does not fall hardest for the woman who tried the most. He falls for the woman he could actually feel, the one whose laugh was real, whose opinions had flavor, whose presence had texture, whose emotions felt alive, whose soul did not hide behind polished lines and rehearsed moves. When people talk about strong chemistry, they often focus only on flirting, teasing, touching, and desire. But there is another layer. There is the thrill of feeling that someone is real in front of you. Really real. No costume, no fake coolness, no desperate shine. Just a human being with depth, confidence, softness, boundaries, and a pulse you can almost hear. That is unforgettable. And when a man senses that from you, emotional attraction can spike in a serious way. Authenticity also means you stop trimming away every piece of yourself that might be too much for the wrong person. Maybe you are passionate, maybe you are playful, maybe you are a little fiery, a little intense, a little goofy, a little dreamy, a little wild. Fine. Let the right man discover that heat. Let him taste the real flavor of your mind. If you keep sanding yourself down until you are harmless, polished, and universally pleasing, you may become easier to accept, but you also become easier to forget. Emotional attraction needs texture. It needs contrast. It needs the little sparks that make a person feel alive, not packaged. And here's where so many people get it twisted. They think being authentic means dumping every feeling, every fear, every wound, and every secret onto the table right away. No. That is not authenticity. That is emotional spilling. Real authenticity has shape. It has timing. It has self-respect. It says, "I will be real with you, but I will also protect what is precious until trust is built." There is mystery in that, and mystery can be delicious. Not fake mystery, not game-playing mystery, but the natural mystery of a person who knows not everyone deserves instant access to their deepest layers. There is one more thing that often seals this emotional pull. He starts seeing qualities in you that he wishes he had more of in himself. Maybe it is your confidence, maybe it is your calm, maybe it is how easily you laugh, how boldly you speak, how deeply you care, how fiercely you protect your peace, how passionately you chase your goals, or how gracefully you handle pressure. When a man admires traits in you, attraction goes beyond simple desire. Desire says, "I want her." Admiration says, "I respect her." And when desire and respect mix, things get deliciously intense. This is where your full personality becomes your secret weapon. If all he sees is your appearance, he can only react on one level. But if he sees your mind, your discipline, your humor, your courage, your standards, your softness, and your bite, now he has a lot more to feel. Now, attraction has layers. Now he is not just staring at you. He is studying you. He is thinking about you after you leave. He is comparing your energy to other women and noticing how flat they feel next to you. That is what happens when he is emotionally lit up, not just visually stimulated. That is part of why shared experiences matter so much. Sitting across from each other at dinner can be nice, but it often reveals only a slice of who you are. Real connection grows faster when you move, react, solve, laugh, adapt, and experience things together. Go somewhere that wakes up your senses. Take a walk that turns into an adventure. Try something playful. Do something that makes both of you a little more alive. Let him see your reactions. Let him watch your energy shift. Let him feel your full range instead of your polished dating voice across a table. The more he experiences the different shades of you, the more chances he has to feel that emotional spark deepen into something richer. A quiet dinner can show him that you are pretty. An experience can show him that you are unforgettable. When the plan has movement, surprise, and a little heat, he gets to see how you handle real moments. He sees how you laugh when something goes wrong, how you tease, how you focus, how you flirt without forcing it, how you glow when you are having fun. That is seductive in a deeper way. That is where emotional attraction gets fed. Not by a perfect script, but by shared moments that reveal personality. At the core of all of this is self-care, but not the shallow kind people usually talk about. Yes, your appearance matters. Yes, taking care of your body matters. But the deeper care is internal. It is in your standards. It is in your boundaries. It is in your refusal to panic over losing someone you barely know. It is in your ability to enjoy connection without worshiping it. It is in your willingness to be warm without becoming weak, open without becoming easy to use, honest without becoming chaotic, and loving without abandoning yourself. That is where your real power lives. When you live like that, you stop asking, how do I make him obsessed with me? And you start asking, does he deserve access to me? That shift changes everything. It changes your voice. It changes your timing. It changes what you tolerate, what you ignore, what you reward, and what you walk away from. And ironically, the less you try to clutch a man by force, the more space there is for him to feel pulled toward you naturally. You become a woman he wants to understand, not because you performed so perfectly, but because your energy feels rare, grounded, and alive. You also stop doing little things that quietly drain your glow. You stop texting in panic when he takes too long. You stop fishing for reassurance. You stop twisting yourself into knots over what one look, one pause, or one late reply might mean. You stop treating every small moment like a final verdict on your worth. And when that pressure leaves your system, your energy gets hotter, cleaner, and more magnetic. Men can feel when a woman is enjoying them. They can also feel when a woman is mentally gripping them with both hands. One invites desire, the other chokes it. So if you want to create emotional attraction that lasts longer than a cheap thrill, remember this: stay calm when it would be easier to erupt. Stay rooted when it would be easier to chase. Stay honest when it would be easier to perform. Stay open, but never at the price of your dignity. Let him earn the sweeter parts of you. Let him discover your tenderness instead of dumping it in his lap too soon. Let your standards speak through your choices, not through dramatic announcements. Let your value be felt, not advertised. Let your personality breathe. Let your truth show. Let him meet a woman who is both warm and hard to shake, both kind and impossible to play with, both soft and solid. That combination can be wildly magnetic, and if he feels it, really feels it, he will not just think you are attractive. He will feel moved by you. He will feel challenged by you. He will feel curious about you. He will feel your absence when you are gone and your presence when you walk into the room. That is the kind of turn-on that does not fade in 5 minutes. That is the kind that digs in. That is the kind that lingers. That is the kind that can make a man look at you and think, there is something about her. Something sharp, something sweet, something dangerous, something rare, and I cannot quite get her out of my head. And that is really the game here, if you even want to call it a game. It is not about tricks. It is not about dangling yourself like bait. It is not about acting colder, sexier, louder, or more mysterious than you truly are. It is about becoming so anchored in your own value that your energy does half the talking for you. It is about being the kind of woman whose silence can speak, whose eyes can challenge, whose calm can unsettle, and whose warmth feels like a reward, not a giveaway. That is spicy, that is elegant, that is dangerous in the best way. So no, you do not need to perform like a fantasy to keep a man interested. You do not need to become a nonstop flirt machine. You do not need to parade your body like that is your only currency. A body can tempt him. A face can catch him. A bold outfit can tease him. But your inner world, your standards, your authenticity, your emotional steadiness, and your ability to stay rooted in yourself, that is what can truly hook him on a deeper level. That is what gives the attraction teeth. That is what makes the connection feel rich instead of cheap, heated instead of hollow, alive instead of temporary. So carry yourself like someone who knows she is a whole experience. Speak like someone who does not beg to be chosen. Love like someone who understands that real intimacy is earned. And when you do that, the right man will not just want your attention for a night. He will want more of your time, more of your mind, more of your laugh, more of your fire, more of the electric little details that make you you. That is when attraction stops being a spark and starts becoming a slow, intoxicating burn that he does not know how to quit. And that is the sweet heat, the pull, and the wicked little magic. Slow, sweet, lethal, and so hot.